Hey, coming up after the match, two of college basketball's biggest stars take the court. The Pac-12's #1 scorer, Roberto Nelson, and Oregon State face Nick Johnson and the #2 team in the country, Arizona. Live coverage starts next on the Pac-12 networks. Don McClain, our Pac-12 networks analyst, said last night on USC-UCLA broadcast that he thought Nick Johnson is the Pac-12 Player of the Year. We move on to the heavyweight division. Our final bout, Arizona State leading at 17-13. Amar Desi needs at least a major decision here. Chace Escam of Arizona State, he has moved up a weight class because of a concussion to Kyle Colling of ASU. So Escam is up from 197. He gave up a lot of weight in his last bout to Josh Marchok of Stanford on Monday. And he did well. It was a late stalling call that led to overtime, and then Marchok got him with a high single 13 seconds into OT for a 7-5 win over Escam.
Yeah, that was a great bout. And Escam was really, really valiant in that match. I mean, he was outweighed by 50 pounds, stood in there tight. Just great performance.
Amar Desi outweighing him here. Desi has won 6 straight bouts, all in duels, including a win 16 days ago over Ross Larson of Oklahoma. Amar Desi, 15th ranked in the nation, a true freshman from Surrey, British Columbia, Burnaby Central High School. Won the Canadian Junior Heavyweight title in 2013, one of 3 national titles he's won, wrestling under his father, Balbir Desi, and it makes sense that Amar is this good, this young as a true freshman. Wrestled 16 years of club wrestling under his father, most of the time wrestling Olympic style, freestyle, but he has made a good adjustment, says his head coach, Jim Zaleski. Chace Escam, meanwhile, quite a story. He announced to you and Jason Knapp when you guys were covering that match on Monday against Stanford that the reason he redshirted last year is because he had testicular cancer.
Yeah, him and his mom talked about it, and he decided he wanted to go public, and his mom actually picked up the phone to touch base with me and got in touch with my wife. So his mom, Lori, and my wife, Laurie, got on the phone, and we're talking for a half hour, and I picked up the phone, talked to Chace, set up a talk with him, and me and him talked for quite a while about his experiences. I mean, just he wants to share with the young wrestlers out there and fans that you can get through anything, and wrestling helped him get through the cancer. The mental toughness and physical conditioning that he had in wrestling helped enable him to battle through the surgery and the chemo. He had to go through both, and now he's out here fighting and in position to help Arizona State win a huge dual meet.
Arizona State leads 17-13. This is the heavyweights. This is the final bout, and if Escam loses by a simple decision, then Arizona State would win the duel. Amar Desi needs a major decision, a win by 8 points or more at least.
Beautiful technique there. Shrug to a sweep single leg. Desi, I really think he's got a lot of upside as he heads through his career. He moves really nimbly on his feet for a big guy.
Amar Desi the takedown for a 2-0 lead here. Final minute of the first period.
But, in freestyle, the goal is just to expose your opponent. The Olympic style wrestling, there's not as many pins. To pin Chace Escam, he's going to have to really get something tight.
Escam, the cancer survivor, and he was in chemotherapy. He got some perspective that while he was in pain trying to fight his cancer, there were others in the room that were going through much worse diagnoses with cancers that had a lot lower survival rate than him. He's trying to survive now against Amar Desi.
Yeah, the cancer battle really gives you perspective. Kudos to him for battling through and coming back strong. You think fighting the 260-pound heavyweight. So Escam, he weighs about 205. He's given up close to 60 pounds here, and that's a hard battle as it is. But he's surviving right now. You see the team score there, 17-13. ASU's in really good position here to pull off the upset.
All right, you're Amar Desi. You need at least a major here. What do you do?
Well, you get that near wrist and you bar his arm, or you get a near side cradle. Earlier in the season, he was pinned by JT Felix from Boise State with a near side cradle. Certainly, I hope he's been working on that move. It's a classic folk style move. What I was starting to say earlier is the Olympic style wrestling, there's not as much emphasis on the pin. It's more emphasis on the exposure. So he's grown up working for exposure points. He probably doesn't have a whole deep arsenal of pinning techniques. You could clearly see he doesn't. What he's doing is kind of floundering around so far. Trying to get that arm behind the back. But a near side cradle is pretty easy to get. It's clock looking already. It's not going to be an easy task. Arizona State's sitting pretty. Chace Escam is one tough man, and he's not. I was at the Arizona State-Iowa State match last week in preparation for the Arizona State-Stanford match, and Chace Escam went up against a 280-pounder from Iowa State, and they went to overtime. He went toe-to-toe. I mean, he's a man. He's one tough hombre.
Escam gets the escape point, 2-1. Amar Desi leads it. Just over a minute to go here in the second period. Final bout of the day. Oregon State's Amar Desi in the singlet trimmed in orange. He needs a major decision, a win of 8 points or more. Otherwise, Arizona State will win this duel, and that would be a surprise. It was huge for ASU and Wes Moore to win at 197 over Zach Cardwell, with Taylor Meeks of Oregon State out with an injury.
Good hand fight. Good hand fight.
Amar Desi with a 55 or 60-pound advantage on Chace Escam. And he's got to do something here. Amar Desi now with a 3-1 lead.
This has been one heck of a dual meet. I'm counting up the major decisions here. It looks like if Desi could pull off the major decision, they would have 2 major decisions each. We would tie the team score with the criteria would be team with the most pins, team with the most tech falls, team with the most majors. It would be all even. It would come down to the most individual bout points. So if Desi could really step it up here in the third period, which is what he needs to do for Oregon State's sake, score a lot of points, that's Oregon State's only chance to win. He needs to get another 5 points plus riding time. He needs a throw. He needs to go upper body. Usually he's a leg attack man, but he needs to step it up here and go upper body. And then from an individual bout standpoint, I would need to get my arithmetic going pretty quick, and I don't have it in front of me because I'm watching the match. But I just off the top of my head, Stauffer scored an awful lot of points. He had a very dominating decision, so even though he didn't win by tech fall, that really opened things up.
My quick math has it 57-45 in favor of Arizona State at this point.
So even if Desi were to get this win by major here, which it doesn't look like he's heading for, but if he got a 5-point move right here, which is what he needs, Arizona State, the coaches, look at Coach Pritz and Coach Charles. They're excited. They're like, don't let him grab you. Don't let him grab you. Clear the ties.
So it basically comes down to if Oregon State is going to win this duel, they need a pin in the final 64 seconds from Amar Desi.
Indeed. That summarizes it right here. Desi has to go get him. And I don't think he will. I think he's going to be content to win smart and safe. But you need
Which is more important, the individual win or the team duel win?
They're both important. Why not go for a safe high percentage throw? Body lock, step around, knee block. That would be my call. That's a safe high percentage throw that really works well at heavyweight. But Desi is a leg attacker. He doesn't really have much upper body offense, apparently, from what I've seen in his matches this season. He's a leg attack guy. But I'm sure he's wrestled some Greco-Roman over the years where you go upper body. Right here, he's not showing anything. And Arizona State is going to get a huge home victory. You see the boys up on the sideline there. The team's excited. They're fired up. Huge win for Chace Escam.
Chace Escam going to lose the bout, but going to win the duel match for his team.
Oh, yeah, it's a win for him. He'll take that. Survival. Going 4-1 with the 15th ranked wrestler in the country. Win the duel meet for your team. Great job by Chace Escan and Arizona State.
Amar Desi with the 5-1 win when you add the writing time point, but it is a near decision, and Arizona State wins the duel 17-16 over Oregon State. The 22nd ranked team in the nation has gone down, and Sean Charles, the head coach of the Sun Devils, all fired up as he should be.
Oh, yeah, this is a big win. He had some nice individual performances.
Arizona State wins at 17-16. Our coordinating producer is Will O'Toole. Producer Scott Ferrier, director Tim Sutton. For Ken Chertow, I'm Rich Burke. Coming up at the top of the hour, college basketball from Tucson. Second-ranked Arizona hosts Oregon State. Again, our final score, Arizona State with the upset at home on Senior Day, 17-16 over Oregon State.